trying to beat the sun up. Grinding hard for mine to see a meal before my sun's up. All I'm saying is I'm trying to get my funds up. Gotta stay trapped.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining in another episode of Run It Back. You already know, what I'm saying, we talk about the area's legends from yesteryear to current day. This week, we're actually going to be sitting down chopping it up with one of the area's greats who was actually blessed us with his presence at this chair a good while back. We already identified as, this individual as one of the greats in Waterbury. But before I get into it, I'm going to have him, pretty much give his introduction into what he did in his years playing high school ball in Waterbury and the staple and the imprint that he left. And then we're just going to take it from there. So this week, we're just going to pretty much talk about basketball from, I would say back in the day, but, basketball from the early, 80s, 90s to current day. And some of the things that can be, done better, some things that are going great for the kids. We're going to touch upon some of the, how you talk about the NILs and all that. So, just, stay tuned. Like I said, it's always a history lesson when you're tuning in with us. So, without further ado, I have Mr. Mike Sanders, man. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, thank you, man, for having me, man.
How's everything, man?
Great to be back. It's good, man.
Yeah.
Slow motion, better than no motion.
You're actually one of the first greats that we had to actually come back, for a second round, man. So I definitely, commend you, and I thank you for that, man, for joining in.
I think it's a great thing that you're doing. I think that you're giving back to the community. You're giving back to even the kids that don't know of. Some of us, obviously, we grew up and paved the way for them. Yep. But this show is definitely giving an opportunity to understand and to grow and to learn about us.
For sure. So for those who don't know or don't know of you, why don't you give them kind of a brief description of where you played, what you did when you played, and, give them some of the Mike Sanders, a.k.a. Ms. work. This is Mike Sanders, everybody.
So basically, I grew up in Waterbury. You and I grew up at the Boys and Girls Club, actually. Yeah. Then from there, I went to Cigar Grammar School. I went to Cigar High School. Then I took my time, so I went to a Division I school after that. So basically, the whole journey was just about hard work and just putting in that work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So my whole thing was about getting buckets.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, just go right into it.
Getting buckets, putting fear in the other defender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's just what I did. I had a goal that I wanted to achieve, and that's what I did. So I think that now is that I have a company called Ms. Work where I try to give it back and just try to show the kids and give them the skills and the knowledge of what I've attained over the years.
Cool. Definitely. When would you say that mentality, though, to kind of give them the business every day and every chance you got, when did that mentality click in for you?
I just think that, growing up in the Boys and Girls Club, I just think that you watch some of the other kids or other some of the other basketball players that was older than you and you want to be like them kind of. It's kind of like when I was around, it was like Jerome Malloy and some of these other guys that was at the Boys Club. Actually, they were working there too. Mm-hmm. And then they would just talk crazy to you and give you the mentality, telling you that you wasn't good and you know what I mean? And you always wanted to prove yourself. So then you want to play. If you play with midgets, you wanted to play with the juniors. You play with the juniors, you wanted to play with the seniors. So you always want to be recognized as one of the top upcoming players. You know what I mean? So I think that mentality came from that. And then it's just different. I think that back then you had to earn everything. Nothing was given to you.
Right.
So your mentality changed once it was there. So if you was giving somebody work, you know what I mean? You was putting your foot on their neck, you know what I mean? Just not letting them yo, listen, man, you about to get all this, And it wasn't it was just a different era. And I just think there was more of a proven era to whereas now it's everyone has to get it, even if they don't earn it. And that's not.
What would you say was your strongest skill set playing in high school?
I had so many, man. Which one you want to talk now? Let me stop. So I just so I could dribble really well. You know what I mean? I was really good at dribbling. I could jump.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I could shoot. I could shoot threes. So I felt like if I can, being a guard at, probably in high school, I was probably like 5'9", 5'10". If I could be that size, but I could, on the break, I want to lay it up, I could dunk, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that was a separation. And then if I could have handle and I could go by anybody else, then nobody would want to guard you.
Right.
So it was like different things that I've obtained that I feel as though that would put me over the hump if I had these different intangibles, you know?
Now, was it someone? Now, was that you? Did that come across or come about by you studying the game, or somebody said, "Look, listen, if you can add this to your repertoire, you can do this, that, and the third. If you can add that, were you a natural jumper? Did you have to work on that? So, what was?
No, so what happened? So I used to have these things called the strength shoes, right? So, and Waterbury is full with hills, so I used to walk everywhere. But you know what? It was funny. It's funny, like they used to laugh at me. You know what I mean? And they'd be, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? This, that, and third. This dude walking around, and I used to carry my bag, and I used to walk with the strength shoes everywhere I was going. Or I used to have like ankle weights at the time, right?
Okay.
But I was just trying to get an edge on everything else. So once I could jump, then it was just like nobody really wanted to do nothing with it because they didn't know what was, what was going to happen. He going to try to dunk. He going to be on the break. He going to do this. He going to do that. And then with the handle and then that you can shoot. So at that time, I felt like I was unstoppable. But to answer your question, was there somebody that really gave me? No, I mean, everybody wanted to be Michael Jordan, right? Everybody tried to act like they had their tongue out or whatever, this, that, and the third, And I just took that, and then back then, like Isaiah Thomas with the ball handling, and, shoot Larry Bird with the three. So it was like in that era, the 90s, like you just want to be separated. But the thing that was different than that, it was just a different type of toughness that you had when you were playing. You know what I mean?
Right, for
and
sure.
if you could put all that together, you was definitely one of the top ones in the league at that time.
Definitely. What would you say some of the good things that came out of that era? Whether it's a group of players, a skill set, what was like that era that you can just kind of like pull out of that you kind of like would wish you can add here?
So I think in that era, in the early 90s, between 90 and 94, that was when I was in high school. I think in that era, just like it was so competitive, right?
Yeah.
Every night it was somebody else you were going up against. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And everybody wanted to bring it, too.
Everybody wanted to bring it because at that time, it was like, okay, listen, I'm playing against Wilby tonight, or I'm playing against Crosby tonight, I'm playing against Holy Cross, and then you had the rival games, and so it was like different. And then the thing about it is like, it's kind of like if you live like in the projects, right? Okay. So every day you get out, or you get up, or you go to school, you get up, you go whatever, you go to the store, whatever you want to do, right? You see that person that you played against.
Right, every day.
Or something like that, or even you play football, but that's like going to the boys club. So if you don't do nothing, you're going to see that person at the boys club, or you're going to see him this, that, and third, and everybody going to remind you of that. Yeah. So nobody really wants to have that issue, like, damn, I'm going to see him today, man, you know what I mean? And they about to just, like, kill me, and then, so I don't think it's now the mentality isn't like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because, the difference is that, I mean, they had video games back then, but there was really no cell phones or no YouTube and none of that other stuff. Like, when you had to get it, you had to get it.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could Google someone's name and you could just look it up back then. You couldn't do that. So, but they knowing you played against them and they gave you work.
That's how they found out.
That's, you know what I'm saying? That was the ways of communication back then, word of mouth,
And the thing, too, is, back then you could say that a lot of the kids from, that era, we was outside.
Right.
So you had no choice but to play ball and do whatever it is you were good at. You played it all day long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas, I hear a lot of adults complain about the kids today where it's kind of like pulling teeth to get them to go outside.
Right.
We lived outside.
Nah, you did.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was talking to, probably when me and Jay was sitting here talking, we was talking about how in some of these neighborhoods that you just mentioned, like the hood, the projects, or whatever, you had your natural playing ups. You know what I mean? Because you had every age group that had a beast there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you had to prove yourself, even if you, you start from, they taking your ball. Hey, shorty, we got to use your ball to,
Right.
to, hey, we need another guy. Shorty, get in. And then you just kind of like passing it. And then you start learning. But I don't want to make no mistake.
But you know what's different is that back then we used to play at Fulton Park, right? Mm-hmm. So then when you walk up to Fulton Park, you used to go up there and it'd be one on one side and another side the rim was bent. And then it was the full court side. But everybody wanted to play on that full court side.
Everybody.
Everybody wanted to play.
Jam-packed too.
And then if you stunk and you was a bum, like you wasn't getting over there and they was letting you know about it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I'll let him play. But no, man, like, why you even over here? You ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like totally different to where it is today, man. I just don't, man. It's different, man.
So if you had to prep a kid today, that's pretty much in middle school, have a little bit of talent or raw talent, how would you prep them for high school ball?
You got to get in the gym.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you can't get in the gym. You can't have no other distractions. If you want to be good at your craft, you got to stay in the gym and you got to work at it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And in fact, it's really no shortcuts. But like I said, there's so many other things that people can identify, but you ain't good. You know what I'm saying? So people could lie about who they really are, right?
Right.
And then, like, when you play against them, you're like, this dude stink. You know what I mean? And the bottom line is not because they're falsifying who they are. And there's too much of that going on, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy, man. So the thing about it is that I just don't understand how people lie about who they really are. And then it's going to come out anyway. Right. And then you playing against him, this dude, he stink. You know what I mean? Like, how you like... he said he's this, that, and third. Then you can't dribble. You can't jump. Yeah. You can't guard. You know what I mean? So how you like, and then you this, that, and the third.
Yeah. Would you say that, I mean, I know we talk about the kids having access to, like, the phones and all that, but do you think that plays in their favor because now they can research what Allen Iverson used to do, what Michael Jordan used to do, what early LeBron used to do? Can they, they can research that to kind of like put, work on those skills for their game?
I think that they can research, but at the same time, man, like Steph Curry just ain't going to the gym doing a bunch of step backs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not researching what he did to get to doing that type of things. You know what I'm saying? Just because
they just researching the highlights.
Right. And you just saying, oh, he doing that so I could go in there and do it. No, you can't even dribble.
Right.
You can't go left. And then you got all these gimmicks, right? You got like people calling you, or they got this other thing a platform thing that you jump on, and what the hell? You know what I mean? Like you're not doing that in the game.
Right.
They got these gloves and all this other stuff, like all these gimmicks, and the majority of the people that's using these gimmicks, they wasn't good. You know what I mean? That's real talk. They wasn't good.
Okay.
So that's part of the issue too. Is like people are falsifying the whole thing of basketball. So now, but it's easier to get caught up in that if you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you say that everybody's playing AAU now? There's so many different AAU teams and leagues now. You know what I mean? So if I'm prepping one for, that's just kind of like staying focused in high school, right? Obviously you got to get in the gym. You have to work on your craft. But, is it safe or is it good to have them in a couple AAU teams?
I don't think it depends on what you're doing it for. Sometimes you got AAU teams. I get it. You want to keep the kids off the street. You know what I mean? I get that. You know what I mean? So you want to give them a part to be a part of something. So it's more than basketball sometimes. But some of these other AAU programs, they getting your money, they taking your money, and then the kid ain't good. Excuse me. And then you telling them this, that, and the next. But you that was coaching, you don't know shit about basketball yourself. Okay. You know what I mean? So how you going to sit here and tell somebody else what to do, but you ain't never did it? That's another problem. So it's a gift and a curse to say is that I get it. If you want to help the kids out, keep them off the street and give them something to do, I get that. Then that's what the program should be about.
Right.
But don't go taking them down here to Spooky Nook. You took them this place, that place, zero gravity, this, that. And you have no intentions of getting the kids better. You know what I mean? That's the problem with it. And it's anybody could do AAU. You know what I mean? It's not even like back when I was playing AAU, like when it's like you had to be good. Right now you got like teams like Susie's Donuts, the main reindeer, shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, they just doing anything. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing anything. Oh, we got a team here. We got this, that, and third. And it's all about, you got the book bag, you got the slides on, you got the compression shorts on, you got the Jordans on, whatever. It's in sneakers at the time, KDs, whatever you want. You know what I mean? But you stink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's a misconception of what it really is.
So let me ask you this. So we have the videos and stuff like that. Do we have coaches, right?
Right.
Let's step it back. Let's get off the kids a little bit. Do we have coaches that know how to teach kids how to watch film?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think that the coaches. And here's the thing, it depends on what you're doing it for.
Okay.
If you're doing it because you want to volunteer and you want to help, I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I applaud the people that's doing that. But once you start taking money, and you taking money, and you charge 800, 900,000, this, that, and the third, and you ain't teaching the kids shit, like,
wow,
come on, man. Like, now you in a realm where you're doing a disservice to everybody.
Right.
And that's the truth. You're doing the service to the parents, you're doing the service to the kids, you're doing the service to yourself.
Yeah.
That ain't cool.
Yeah.
You got all these programs, but then, you know what I mean? You know what's crazy about this whole thing is, and then instead of bigging everybody else that's doing the right thing, you want to talk shit about everybody else that ain't doing, and you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
But you want to talk about somebody else, but what you doing? You ain't doing nothing.
Right. Wow.
You know what I mean? You got all these other programs that you ain't doing nothing. You ain't putting nobody in no school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You talk about everybody else, but you ain't doing nothing. That's the problem. You got to look in the mirror. If you in here to help the kids, you got to help the kids.
Right.
Don't just take their money and they not doing nothing.
Do you think
That don't make no sense to me.
That's
That's my opinion, though.
Right.
It's my opinion.
Right.
I ain't knocking nobody else. If that's what you want to do, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think because we have a lot of guys from the 80s and 90s that actually went on to college. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would say more so the 90s. The 80s and 90s that went on to college, and then now we're starting to see some of them come back and coaching and training and doing some of the X, Y, and Z. With the influx of trainers, right? Because it's like so many everywhere you look, you can send your kid there, you can send your kid there. Do you think if someone was to kind of like come together and say, hey, look, I know you're good at this, I know you're good at that. Let's kind of like come together instead of all individual and teaching these kids. And like you said, some of them and some of the trainers can learn off the other trainers. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, you know what, Miz, I like how you did this. You know what I'm saying? How can I teach these kids this, that, and the third? Learning from you and as that create a healthy nest of kids getting the right information.
Right. I think it's right. So it's each one teach one, right? So the bottom line is, I played Division I, you know what I mean? I played overseas for over 10 years, you know what I mean? So I'm going to give back to the knowledge that I have obtained.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But part of the problem is, too, though, you get these parents that never played basketball, but they're going to tell you what you need to be doing. That's another thing. You ain't done nothing.
Ooh, I was just getting
You know what I'm saying?
That was going to be my next one. You jumping it.
How you going to sit there and be like, oh, well, he need to be doing it, but you ain't never did it. So how you going to tell somebody that done it what they need to be doing? And also, another thing with some of these trainers, too, as well, you ain't never did it.
Right.
That's like me, listen, man, I need to go get an oil change, man. You know what I mean? Can you change my oil, man? Be like, I ain't never changed no oil. Well, hold on, let me try it. Now you got a book. Yeah. That don't mean nothing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And I just think that with all the trainers that's around here, I think that it's good for people that have the knowledge, that want to give the knowledge. But you know what it is? It's a pride thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? These dudes got pride, man. They feel like I could do something better than you instead of you coming together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I have people that's underneath me that I trained personally through high school. They went to college and they became pro, right? And the thing about it is that to this day, whatever they need, I give to them.
Right.
Because I was successful, somebody gave it to me. So why can't I give it to somebody else to push it out? And then he could give it to somebody else.
Right.
I'm never gonna hate on nobody, you know, Mike? Because I did what I was supposed to do, and now I'm giving back. So I feel as though I'm in a different lane than everybody else.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm willing to give back.
Yeah.
You could ask me anything. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to give it. If I got it, you got it. And that's the whole thing about now. So that's how you pass the thing on. Not I got to be like, nah, I ain't giving that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't giving him nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't never going to get anything.
Facts.
Not only that in life, but by just living like that. And then you lying about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even get me started on that, man. Because these dudes, I ain't even going to go there, man.
Do you think how would you rate the city's talent in terms of like we said before, like back in the day there was somebody at every school that can bring it. Do you think it's spread out like that now, where you have one or two from each school that can kind of like give it to you?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even follow the high school boys basketball no more, man. You know what I mean? I just feel as though like it's so watered down, and I feel as that the kids, they think they know more than you, some of them. You know what I mean?
Some of them, okay.
And I just think that they get misinformed and they get in miscommunication because just because you're doing work in here, that don't mean you're going to go out there and do no work. So I think that the kids are misinformed about who they are. I think that their sense of reality isn't, they got a false sense of who they are, should I say.
It's funny you say that because I've heard from different coaches, people that coach from Waterbury, New Haven, Bridgeport, even Hartford, that say like it's tough today because you have a group of kids that for some reason, now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of kids that's good.
Right.
You know what I mean, that have it. You know what I mean, that's special.
Right.
But then you have some of those that's, you're good, you're not great, I could give you some of the tools to make you better,
right.
But it's like, nah, they got this. They don't want to hear none of the feedback. Or, do you think some of that, and I'm not even crapping on AAU, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, because there's so many of them out there, do you think that avenue is heighten the kids up, so when it comes down to high school, the coaches can't tell them or can't coach them, or they become uncoachable?
I think it's a simple fact is that you're on different circuits, right?
Okay.
So they got different circuits in AAU. They got different brackets. They got different. So if I go to a tournament, you can play in the A bracket, B bracket, C bracket, D bracket, whatever. You know what I mean? I think that some of these coaches are putting these kids in these brackets, and the brackets are terrible. And they doing work, right?
Okay.
So now they come back here. We just want to chip. We did this, that, and the third.
Oh, man.
But you was in bracket WXYZ that was down the block around the corner through the dirt road. You know what I'm saying? And you playing against these dudes that you know what I mean? They not doing nothing.
Right.
But you don't put the kids in the bracket, in the A bracket, or in these other tournaments where they can see who they are. So now they know what they need to work on, right?
Okay.
But you got them in these other brackets where they killing, and now when
So
you
don't
actually
see the flaws.
Yeah, but you don't see it because they kill. Then you win it by 30. Then you win it by this. You win it by 40. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and third. And then when you go play in bracket A in these different tournaments, you getting your ass smacked. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, damn. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. They was doing this. They was doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now it comes out. Your kid can't dribble. He can't pass. He can't dribble with the dude on his hip. He can't see the floor.
Oh man.
He can't play when he gets sped up. You know what I'm saying? He can't go with either hand to finish, right? Because now you had them giving a false sense of who they are. But then that goes up against again is that with some of these AU teams, you paying all this bread or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you in the bracket where you're going to succeed. You're not in the bracket where you're going to learn.
You're going to learn. Because I'm like, if I'm a parent and I'm putting my kid in there, I'm number one, if I'm putting them in AAU, look, obviously I want them to get some playing time. I want them to learn, though. I want them to learn. I want them to get better at some point.
Right.
Throughout the course of you playing with this particular
That's how it's supposed
team.
to go.
And obviously now everybody want to get exposure, but I more or less want you to learn and progressively get better. And then obviously exposure is going to come. Do you see that that's what's happening today?
Yeah, you know what it is, man? What these people don't understand, right? This basketball is an investment.
Okay.
Right? It's an investment for what? If you're doing it like how you want to do it, it's an investment for your kid to go to college for free, right? It's an investment. Yes. So why, if this is investment, you paying $1,000, $700, whatever it is for I don't know, whatever you're paying for it. Mm-hmm. Why can't you give your kids the right information?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The coach is giving the right information. You already invested $1,000 here, this, that, and third, right?
Yep.
But now they're coming out and playing these brackets and they're getting their ass kicked. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They're not learning nothing because they don't know. So why are you paying all that money then? Mm-hmm. This is an investment for you. You want to put it in because some of these parents are, I get it, you know, you can't afford to send your kid to college. So maybe basketball is this thing. They want to play basketball. They're adamant about it. They want to learn about it. So you as a coach, you're taking their money as the investment for them, and hopefully they stay with you along their AAU years of playing, right? So now they go to high school, they go to prep, whatever the case may be, right? But you started here, and you open up that door for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I feel like it's an investment, but it's not an investment if you ain't learning nothing.
Got you.
That's my opinion. My thing with, like, and my company, Mizwork, www.mizwork.com. I'm
ahead.
getting my own self. You heard that? Where's the camera? www.mizwork.com. Check it out. You heard? So my whole thing, www.mizzwerk. Is that the camera right there?
That's the camera right there.
.com. .co.
Yeah, I got that now, right?
Yeah, right. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you ain't good, I'm going to tell you ain't good. If you good, I'm going to tell you, you know, you got to work. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing about it is an investment. But if you're not good, I'm going to tell you not good. A lot of these kids come over there, whatever this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. That's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because the bottom line is about me giving back and giving back the right way. So if your parents going to invest in it, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't want to hear it, then don't come.
So say a parent has a kid that has potential, right? Meaning he has an upside, meaning he might be tall, might be lanky in certain areas. Could be athletic, but can't put it together, right? So they coming to you, look, I know my kid ain't got it, you know, but he wants to play. But for his age bracket, he's late bloomer or whatever you want to call it, but he's not there.
Right.
Can you transform that kid to, not saying he's going to be, you know, D1, you know, super talent, but can you make him so, okay, we're going to make you decent first, then, you know, make you good, then make you exceptional. Can you get a kid from, if you have, like, what would it take to get that kid through those natural progressions?
So I prefer to get a kid like that.
Okay.
Because when you get a kid like that, that's your work. And that's you showing him what he can be. Because one thing about it is once you show that, then the kid's going to believe in himself. Right?
Okay.
So then the kid's going to understand it was a process to where he got to where he is. So now, hopefully, when the kid gets old enough and he understands, he's going to give that to somebody else because he knew what took him to get to where he had to go.
Wow.
And I think that's what it's about, right? It's not about you getting a kid that's already good.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. You didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
You just gained reps.
That's right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's some clown shit. You know what I mean? Like, he was already good, but he was my play. No, get out of here. You ain't do nothing.
Yeah.
He was already nice, or she was already nice.
Yeah.
But
they was already going to be what they was going to be.
Right. Exactly. You ain't do nothing, dude.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, if you could do it like that from the beginning,
okay,
you know what I'm saying? They're going to respect it. The parents are going to respect it. And they're going to know, not only in basketball, but in life, they're going to understand that you have to work to get to what you have, get to what you want, get to what you want to have, rather.
So what are some of the things that a high school kid that's now I'm looking towards, well, everybody thinking the NBA, everybody thinking professional. But you hit a key point where, look, you can get a free education.
That's the whole point. I mean, it's 1% is going to the NBA.
1%.
I'm not saying you can't do it, but the bottom line is that shit is like a horse going through a needle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you can get a free education out of it, if you can use the tools that you have obtained to get to you to where you want to go, a free education to where you want to go, then that's half the battle right there. At least you got something to fall back on. You know what I mean?
Now, is there a way to kind of like get the kids to buy into that? Or is now the NIL kind of...
I think the NIL now is like, on the flip side of that NIL, like if you could get to it, you're gonna get paid for it.
Okay.
Right? So it's not so much about it like, all right, put it this way. So if you work at something, you're gonna get rewarded for it now with the NIL.
Okay.
So but everyone wants to come, they want to floss, they want to do this, they want to do that. But if you don't work at it, that's say right there, you ain't good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That'll let you know right there. Everything that was given to you was just given to you. You never worked for it. So now these people want to compensate you for what you're doing. And now it's going to come out if you was good or not.
Got you.
So I just think that, and I know a lot of kids that's, that came through my program actually that's getting NILs right now. And it's just to be able to see. And I support them and I buy their jerseys and I do all that type of stuff. It's dope just to see see all this. And then now you can have the conversation with them is that, look at all this work that you're doing.
Right.
And now you're getting compensated for it. Look at yourself. You got your name on the back of your jersey. They're selling it in the store for $100. You know what I mean? So just the simple fact of that. But now when you're giving something or somebody's just pulling you on because that's your homeboy or your homegirl, this, that, and third, and now you want to write, you ain't getting it. Right? Because now you got a false sense of who you are from the beginning because they've been lying to you because they want to keep you on the team because maybe you paying or whatever you doing. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, you ain't really that good because you ain't putting no work in for it anyway.
Right.
That's just me or what I think.
Yeah. How would you now? What are some things that's not really talked about that you can, if you can go back to a high school student that's on his way to college, and you can say, hey, look. That street down there, this is what you need to be prepared for. This is what you need to work on. This is what you need to be able to do. This your size, this is where you're gonna like what would you tell some of those individuals? Like how would you school
I would
them?
think that someone that's in high school now is that you need to understand every position on the floor. You may get taller, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You may not. But one thing for certain, you gotta learn how to dribble. That's one thing you got to know how to do because the game is being transformed. You got stretch fours. You got centers that want to bring the ball up. You got swings. You got the three. You know what I mean? Just because you're tall now, you know what I mean? You've seen examples of Kevin Durant. You see all these that other dude like 7'9". However that
San Antonio.
Whippy, San Antonio, right? Everyone is showing you that you have to be able to handle the ball or you're going to get passed by. So all this other stuff, and it's not knocking anybody, this, that, but you have to implement dribbling really, really into your program. Because if you can't dribble, you're not going to be able to do anything in today's game.
How important is defense?
Defense, well, you know what? It's not like how it used to be, like with the lockdown, the Pat Bevs, or the Dennis Rodmans, or whatever else. It's not like that. If you look at the game,
It's faster.
fast pace, 120, 130 a game. Is the defense? You have to play defense, subliminal defense. Help side this, that, and third, or pick and roll off the pick and roll hedge or whatever else. But it's not like how it was back.
Yeah.
The Bad Boys, the Detroit
Yeah.
Pistons, or this, you locking up, you winning championships with that. I don't think it's so. I think it's outscoring because the way it's going up and down
Right.
now.
Right. And how everybody coming up jacking, everybody can
Right,
hit a three.
just jacking three. You come across half court jacking threes. But don't get me wrong, you still have to understand the concept of how to play defense. But I just don't think it's really like how it was when I was coming up because I didn't play no D. I ain't played no D. You know what I mean? But if I was playing in today's game, what?
So let me ask you this though: do you think not being a defensive-minded player or defensive-first player, do you think that hindered you, or it
I
worked
think
out?
it hindered me because I didn't care. I was just, trying to basket, trying to get dunks, trying to get bucks. I think that it hurt me, like when I went to school, because then I had to learn.
Yeah.
It wasn't just instant. Nah,
Right.
the offense was instant.
Right.
So I was getting to it.
Yeah.
But on the defense, I couldn't stop nobody. You know what I mean? and that comes from effort.
Yeah.
But you used to coming from, I was 30, and then I'm coming into college. They're like, well, you ain't playing no D?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so you got to know the concepts. You got to understand it. But I mean,
do you think so? Okay, we know the overall game itself is faster, right?
right.
Is it a major difference offensive wise how the schemes and everything from high school to college now?
Absolutely. Because like I said, like the players are bigger, stronger, faster.
And a lot of times, like certain areas don't breed a lot of big guys, but when you go to college, everybody.
So the thing about this, what's hard now in the college game and in pro, it's on a switch off. So you can used to be guarding somebody your height, and then you switching off.
Ooh.
Now you guarding someone 6'6", 6'7" that's playing the same position you playing. You know what I mean?
It's a nightmare.
But that goes back. Let's go back to the beginning of the mentality of the investment, right? So if you got the investment, that means you working hard. You starting to understand. So your mentality is different. I don't care if it's a switch off. Now you all up in them. Whereas that you still back, and let's go back AAU, and you down there, you playing down on that dirt road against this dude that's terrible, and then now I'm nice. You know what I mean? I'm nice. But then you come back on court A, and you playing against that dude 6'6", 6'7", and playing the same position as you, and he killing you.
Killing you. And
Killing you.
You ain't got an answer.
You can't do nothing, man. Oh, give me this. Give me this. Put some out of it. Whatever. He's killing you. Ain't nothing you can do. Because you've been getting false information about who you are. And you ain't been working.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody road is different. You know what I mean? Everybody road is different.
I think what you said, too, is key is because you have to learn all positions. And,
Right.
and what I've seen, like now, and even a little bit back in the day, but more so now, you get a guy that's a two guard, a shooting guard,
Right.
right? Go
Right.
to college, oh, you a point guard.
Right.
Whoa, wait a minute. I just been used to kind of like running off screens and, nah, you got to bring that ball up. And you better protect that ball.
Right. And that's the adjustments that you got to make.
That's the adjustment you got to make.
So now it's like even in high school basketball with girls, right? So even if you're like, say you're like 5'10" or 5'8", no, say 5'10" to 5'11". Now, if you want to go be a high major in a girls program, you're a point guard. Oh, you ain't no center.
You ain't no center. Because them centers is like 6'9",
Right.
6'6".
You know what I'm saying? Them girls is big. So the bottom line, even everything is transitioning. So now the thing about it is that you got to adjust to the times.
Yeah.
This ain't back there with Bob Cousy and all them do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever, that type of era. This is a new era. So if you're playing center back then, you a guard in today's game.
Right. Right. And you know what? And what you're saying, that's kind of like universal. Even from those going from college to the college to the pros.
Right.
Do you think the pro game is faster than the college game
I think the pro game is more, the IQ is higher in the pro game. And it depends on what team it is, though. You know what I'm saying? But no, let me scratch that. I think in the pro game, they just make better adjustments.
Okay.
Because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, and they make that transitions from the college game. Like some people that could be killing in college, but you get to the pros, and now you're not making those adjustments.
Okay.
And if you're not making them adjustments, you sitting down.
So, I mean, all right, this is what I used to think about before, because historically, back in the day, a lot of people watch college basketball because they moving. Basketball, the NBA and professional, we don't see that until the playoffs.
Right. So now, piggyback on what you're saying, though, too, just to integrate this. So when you're coming into college, so right now, you remember that it was kids coming from high school, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like one and done. So, but now it's so many things they could take from overseas. They could take it from the G League now. They could this, that, and the third. So if you ain't doing shit, you out of there too.
Wow.
Or they're going to or you're going to get a 10-day. They're going to send you down to the G League. So it's all about, it's fast, and you got to think, and you got to be productive. Because if you're not being productive, everything is about numbers now, right?
Okay.
So if you're not
Analytics.
being productive, then you're going to sit down. Then you're going to be up out of there. Everything is about stats and numbers. Even like, let's take it like back to college now, right?
Yeah.
You got the transfer portal, right?
Yeah.
So here's another thing, right? If you're a freshman, you're going into college.
Okay.
If you're not groomed, if you haven't been playing on the higher circuit, or if you haven't been playing at high level basketball in high school, so now you get recruited, it's only 1,500 spots for Division I, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're not playing in a high level, and you got a false sense of who you are, you're going against junior college, you're going against prep school,
Right.
and you're going against the transfer portal. And that's how they fill in them rosters just like that.
Wow.
So if you playing in the league and you ain't doing nothing and you think you nice and you playing against a bunch of bums or a bunch of kids that's not good and they think that they're good, you ain't doing that. You not, because they got no time to waste.
Right.
Because with the NIL, they paying players now.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna pay you and you ain't doing nothing.
And they want to return now.
Right now, because they're not, then they out of there. The coaches is out of there. So the coach, you got to remember, the coach got to feed their own family. So if you're not producing, first of all, it's going to go the portal, junior college, then whatever's left from that, then prep school. And if you're not an exceptional high school player, let's say top 100 or something like that, you ain't going D1. Let's call it what it is. You're not going Division 1. You're going to go maybe Division 2 or 3, but you're not going Division 1. Right. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's facts.
Wow.
It's facts. Why they gonna get you, right? Mm-hmm. And you in high school, you playing in a subpar league, right? Why they gonna get you? And they gotta mold you. They don't even know if you gonna get it.
Right.
Where they could get somebody that already played 2 years of college.
And
He's in the transfer portal. You could get another guy that played 2 years of junior college. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's in the transfer portal, right? I mean, not in the transfer portal, but he's gonna be eligible to come to your school. Or you could get a kid that played prep school, but he played on a hell of a circuit, right? In the prep school, he played NEPSAT. He played this, that, and third.
Right.
You're not gonna get nobody that's playing in these little leagues and get them to transition to come to your Division I school. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
That's my opinion, but it's a fact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You wouldn't do it.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
And whoever's saying that they would do it, they lying. They wouldn't do it either.
Exactly.
Because their job is going to be on the line. Mm-hmm. So if you're not an exceptional basketball player, you're not in the top 100, right?
Wow.
You ain't doing it. And I don't care who it is.
Do you think now with the emergence of like the reclassification, do you think that plays a part in seeing where a kid is really at?
Right. I think that when you reclassify, because all the kids are older now anyway. Like, again, you're going against a transfer portal, you're going against a junior, this, that, and third. So you need to reclassify because physically and mentally you need to reclassify. And the speed of the game is different because these kids are older and they're faster. Right? So you need to reclassify. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't reclassify, you're going to be behind 8 ball. Now, where do you reclassify? I don't think this is just my opinion. I don't think you reclassify in 6th grade. I don't think you reclassify in 7th grade or what. I don't think you do that because the bottom line is you reclassify in 6th grade. Who knows if your kid still wants to play in 8th grade? You don't know that.
Wow. And then you done held him back.
You done held him back. Now you're like, Dad, I don't want to play no more. Or, Mom, I don't want to play no more. Grandma, I don't want to play no more.
I wonder how much of that is going on.
It ain't none of it going because ain't nobody thinking like that. They thinking like, oh, this dude is nice, so I reclassify him. How you know in 8th grade he still want to play?
Yeah.
You don't know. You know what I'm
don't
saying?
know.
So I think, me personally, I would think that you want to do at least freshman and sophomore year, right?
Okay.
And then you transfer, especially if you don't have a good freshman year after.
So freshman, sophomore year, then what? Transfer to maybe a
I think
JUCO?
that I just think that if you're in a regular high school, right?
Okay.
After his freshman year, it's like the trial time, right? You see if he makes varsity, if he's good enough to make varsity, or he may play some JV more than freshman, right?
Okay.
Then the next year, you see the speed of the game. He adjusts to the speed of the game. You see the strength of it. He says this, that, and third. Now, in the summertime, he's playing on a different AAU team, or not different from what he was, where he was just learning, right? Now, it's like levels, right?
Yep.
So, if you can get past all that, and you start to see the cheap, now you go to prep school, and now you reclass. Because you were in high school. Yep, you reclass at prep school.
Okay.
So now when you reclass at the prep school, so now you have an idea of what you're expecting. You having an idea of this kid's going to be stronger, the kid's going to be faster. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You understand the pace of the game, right?
And I think it preps them more for college, too.
Right, absolutely.
Get their size up.
So now, right. So why would you reclass in 6th grade?
Right. I think the biggest thing is you don't even know if they're gonna still want to do it.
No, but then again, if you're reclassing a kid in 6th grade, you're doing it for you. You ain't doing it for the kid. You're doing it because you have something up with you, and you want the kid to be killing. So you go around and say, my kid is doing this, that, and the next. That kid don't. The kid know what he know. 6th grade, he don't know nothing. So you doing it for you as a parent because you want to show like my kid is nice. This, that, that. I don't think that makes any sense. That's my opinion.
To kind of piggyback on what can happen too, you reclassify as a 6th grader. By the time you're in 8th grade, it's enough room for them other ones to catch up to them naturally.
Right, absolutely. So because you're not getting nothing out of that. You know what I mean? You just need to have him in the gym until he's in 8th. No one cares about that anyway.
Yeah.
He's ranked number one 6th grader in the U.S. Who cares?
Right.
Don't nobody care about that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You going to all these places all over the place. You in 6th grade. Who cares, man?
Right.
Oh, he's nice. So?
It don't matter.
You know what I mean? Let's see. Talk about it in 3-4 years from now. Whatever. See where he's at.
Yeah. Wow. So, just kind of like fast forwarding into, what are some takeaways, when it turns into professional, like, investments, or how do you prep a kid or prep someone that's at that professional level when either you still got some playing time or you see the window starting to shut on you and you got to transition to the real world now?
Oh, I think that when you're talking about when you're at the decline of your career?
When you done peaked and you
I think that you figure out this whole time you're prepping yourself for what your strengths are, what you can give back, right?
Okay.
And I think that if this is what you've been doing your whole life, and this is what you have been obtaining the knowledge, and I think that you need to figure out how can you still have this in your repertoire, right?
Right.
So I think that it depends if you want to transition into the basketball world still, be a coach, be a trainer, be a mentor, be a consultant. I think you can do that as well because no one can do it unless you have the experience, and you have the experience because you know, I mean, if you were doing it the right way, or even when you go to college and you're playing 1, 2, or 3, you have those morning workouts. So your mentality is totally different. You know what I mean? The way that you think about stuff, the way that you take care of your body, and I think you can pass those things down.
Okay.
If you're that, but if you're in the college and there's 2 ways you can look at it. Even when you were in college and you got your degree for when you were setting yourself up when you were playing pro. So it's different ways that you can transition out of the basketball world.
Is it hard though? Is that transition
I don't think it's hard. I already knew like when I was when I played overseas, I already knew like when I came back I wanted to give back to what I have obtained.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I just think that's what I think you got to know what you want to do when you're going into it.
I think knowing what you want to do and sometimes understanding when that window's, closed.
Oh, you got to know when it's. I know it was over for me, not to be talking about me, but when you are interviewing me, so let me talk about myself. So the thing,
yes,
you know what I'm saying. So I knew. This is a true story, right? So I came home, and I was kind of contemplating if I was going to go back.
Okay.
For in the 11 years.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, man, I could play 15, but I was like pushing. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really have the love for it like I did. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I was at the North End Rec, and I ain't gonna say this dude's name, but anyway, so we just playing 5-on-5. No, I got 2 stories, right? So the first one, when, you know what I'm saying? So I was like transitioning and thinking about coming back. So we were playing 5-on-5 at the rec. I had this dude on the side. He switched off, and he was like, I got him. This dude stink, too. He's a bum, too, man. He's terrible, too, man. I wish I could say his name, but I don't even give him no props. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I shot it. Yo, he blocked my shot. He blocked my jump shot. When he blocked my jump shot, I'm like, yo, it's over, man. I ain't going back.
Oh, man.
I was like, it's over, man.
I bet he remember blocking your shot.
He ain't never gonna forget it. You know what I'm saying? So when I do see him, man, I'm like, this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So right then and there, I knew it was over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was another time.
Okay.
I was playing with Mark Robb in the rec on his team, right?
Okay.
So
Shout out to Mark Robb.
shout out to Mark Robb, man. Mark was shooting every time. Nah, let me stop. So anyway, but this other dude was playing. I ain't gonna say his name either, too. He's my man. I ain't gonna say his name either, man. But I felt it was so disrespectful, man. So disrespectful. Yo, he got in the game. He like, Mike, sit down, man. I got this. I'm like, what? I was like, after that, I'm like, it's over, man. These niggas don't even respect me no more. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm like, it's over, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. This dude ain't never played no ball, man. Never played.
So Mike, sit down. I got it.
He's like, Mike, I got this, man. Don't worry. I got it, man. After that, man, I'm like, yo, it's over, man. I'm like, yo, what?
Oh, man, so you had some hard
He got in the game shooting air balls and bricks and shit. I'm like, I got up out of there, man. I'm like, I quit, man. And so I just stopped playing after that.
So that's when you realize you're not even going back overseas?
No, I realized that when the dude blocked my shot.
Overseas.
But this was a couple years later when I was just like, I'm just not playing no more at all.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, you closed the door.
What? Slammed it. I ain't closed it. I slammed it. You know what I mean? Once he was like, yo, I got this, Mike. Don't worry about it, man. Go ahead. I got it. Sit down.
Oh man, we laugh about it, but you know, in the world of sports, you get a lot of guys that on the high school level they dominate. You know what I'm saying? And then the small percentage of those that actually go to college and they have some success, they might dominate. And then you get another small group of that group that go on professionally. But then when that window closes, it's like, yo, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Some people, here's one. There's some people, the window closes after high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't have the work ethic for the next level.
But that's what it is, though, too. And that's the problem with the kids today. They expect you to give it to them. You expect them to hand it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why it's over for them after high school, because they ain't got no work ethic.
You got to have the work
you know
ethic.
what the thing about it? And you want to blame everybody else except for you. You got to start looking in the mirror. You got to figure out you didn't go where you want to go because it was because of you.
Right.
It wasn't because of no coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to think that the coach want to win.
Yeah.
Why the coach ain't going to play you and you nice? Think about that. Yeah. Oh, he jerking me.
Right.
You done heard that? How many times you done heard that?
Right.
You know what I mean? He ain't jerking you. You ain't good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just call it what it is, man. But you got to, this is a journey. Like, this is a whole process, man. Like, shout out to Aunt Ireland, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Aunt Ireland, man.
You know, you got to get them
Doing
kids
this thing, man.
right, man.
Keep doing it, Aunt.
So like for instance, like he was underneath me and he stayed and he worked through it. Like we used to get up early in the mornings to go to New York to go train and do all the type of things, man. Then he went to LMU, and then from there on he became pro. So I mean, but now he's giving back, and that's what it's about, man. Being able to transition, like you said earlier, to transition into something else that you worked your whole life, and now you're giving back to someone else that's trying to get what you had.
Right. So if you can just sum it all up in a few words, you know what I'm saying? We about to wrap it up. What are a couple gems, maybe 2 or 3 gems you can give the parents or maybe even the young kids coming up now? What are some gems you could probably give them to kind of like help them along their journey?
The thing about this, man, what I would tell to a kid is that you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody else going to believe in you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't listen with somebody else saying that you can't do, because 9 times out of 10, the ones that tell you can't do it, they ain't do it.
They ain't do it.
So they want you to, you know what I mean, do the same thing.
Right.
So they're not, you know what I mean? It's crazy because instead of helping, people always want to bring somebody else down and tell them what they can't do.
Yeah.
Instead of helping them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about it. So that's my word of advice is, if you in this basketball world, you got to stay in the gym and you got to believe in yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's nothing that you can't do.
Right. And at the end of the day, man, nothing comes easy. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the work in. And believe in yourself. That's the bottom thing. At whatever you do, whether it's sports, executive positions, you know what I'm saying, working in the community, you got to believe in yourself that you can do what that you strive and thrive to do.
Right. And the thing about with the parents, though, too, right? You said to give the parents some gems, too. Do your research.
Okay.
Do your research.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You just going off of what somebody is telling you. No, do your do. Damn, I can't even say the words.
Due diligence.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother.
Do your due
Hey,
diligence.
she over here laughing. The lady, hey, listen, that ain't funny. So yeah, so you gotta, do your due diligence.
Yeah, parents, you got to do your due diligence.
You gotta do it though, man.
Word of the day, due diligence.
Yo, come on, man. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do. Word. Let's do it.
But nah, that's key too, man. You got to research, especially if you're doing it for your kids.
No, you got to, man. You just can't go off what somebody else is telling you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to do it. Like, if the preacher tell you...
Oh, man.
I mean, ain't even going to go there. Let me stop.
See? Everyone, when we get to talking, he going to the Bible, man.
But listen, though, man. Like, for real, though. The parents, you have to, because this is just... You're investing your money. You want your kid to succeed. You got to do your you got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Yes.
I ain't even gonna play myself.
You got to do it. You already said the word is.
You got
to do it. But listen, man, we're gonna wrap this up, man. Mike, man, I definitely appreciate the gems that you was able to give the audience, the kids, the parents, and also the amazing work that you're doing out here in the community with Ms. Work.
Thank you,
know what I'm saying? In Ireland, you know what I'm saying? You're doing your job, you're doing your thing out there. I see you. Shout out to Kids Rise Up, you know what I'm saying? We,
Kids
helping
Rise
the
Up
kids
for
get
sure,
their
man.
mindfulness
Kids Rise
on.
Up. Shout out to Eric Roston, man, for Kids Rise Up, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to E-Dub, man. You heard?
Yeah, man. But I mean, there's a lot, and there's some trainers out there too that's really doing their things, man. And I appreciate you guys, man. You keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather for you to help the kids do something positive than drive them to do something negative. You know what I mean? So hey, listen. I'm Eric Lewan. This is Mike Sanders, Ms. Work. We signing out, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of Run It Back.
One more thing, man. We could all work together, man. We could all work together. No one is better than nobody. We can all work together, man. Everyone needs to learn something, no matter what it is, man. Even me, I need to learn. We all can work together, man.
That's it. Working together. Working together with due diligence. That's our words today. All right, see y'all later.